Hey guys, welcome back to episode 5 of
the Cinchuation Podcast.
So in honor of Halloween, we have a very special, creepy guest with us today. All right, I can't, you gotta take it. It's just Lauren, but I'm really scared of clowns, and she got me good before we started this podcast this morning.
That was great.
She ran at me with that mask on, and
I was gonna, at the corn maze, I was gonna be like, Lindsay.
oh my gosh.
It was a little jump scare moment.
A little jump scare. Yeah, too bad the cameras didn't catch that because we could have had like a bloopers moment.
That was great.
So in honor of Halloween, you guys have heard us talk about kind of some stuff that we experience here at the shop, and we have a shop ghost. So we're going to touch on our shop ghost since it's spooky season, and then we also have some cool saddle maker stories, and then just some discussions about the horse industry. So I guess first things first, the shop ghost, we're pretty sure her name is Joyce.
She's very close to home.
Very close to home, yes. So it actually started at the old shop. Dana's mom sadly passed away, and she kind of started experiencing some things at her house, her old house originally. And she'd come out to the shop and be like, you guys won't believe, like she had, like her chandelier would start swinging, her doors would just blow wide open.
Didn't she say it wouldn't just like sway? Like it
no,
would
it would
swing?
like, yeah, it was crazy. And then, like one time, one gal that used to work with us, Riley, she house sat for Dana and I stayed the night with her, and the doors kept opening and we'd have to get up in the middle of the night and close them, and it was just really creepy. And then Dana experienced a lot of stuff. And then over time, it kind of stopped at her house and moved out to the shop. And oh my gosh, we would have such crazy stuff happen at the old shop. Like you'd be sitting there in the cinches. We used to have them on the wall, like hanging up and down. And they would like just start swinging on the wall. I mean, just go, yeah, it was crazy. And you'd go over and stop them and they'd keep swinging. It was ridiculous. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, we used to have this like stick-on, you know those stick-on open and close signs with like the little suction cup thing?
Yeah.
That's what we used to have at the old store, and it would like just fly off of there. And I'm not like talking it just like the suction cup like gave out and like fell. Oh no, it would like whoa, yeah, it would go crazy. I know, it was bad. And then once we moved here, like this went on for a while, and we were kind of oblivious to it, and then we all kind of started talking. We're like, I wonder. She's like, oh, I bet it's my mom, because she told us about the house stuff then. And yeah, then we moved out here, and I don't think it's ever really, maybe a few things in her house here, like the lights and stuff, I think she said, but in here, she like runs wild in this place. She lives in here.
She lives in here.
Yes.
Up in that attic.
I don't know if it's in the attic. I don't know if it's in the shed. There's a suspicion that there's other stuff here, though.
Yes.
Because, like, the shed out back, that place gives me a total bad vibe.
Heebie-jeebies.
It does give me the heebie-jeebies. I don't even want to walk out there. I hate walking out there.
Like,
yeah, chinkies.
It gives, like, Conjuring vibes.
It does. It's
what
like
it
the
gives.
Conjuring house out there.
Well,
like
there was, like, some cult stuff, right?
Yeah, there was, like, some cult stuff, and I don't know. It was just a little weird. So we don't know, but there's been a lot of stuff in the shop that we've experienced that's just, I don't know. It's very explainable.
It's an uneasy feeling.
Like,
yeah.
the purse. It's the purse, right?
Oh,
I wasn't here for
I
that.
forgot about the purse. The purses like flew off the shelves. Yeah. That was all in the same day.
Yeah.
So it usually happens around birthdays, holidays, like significant like event type
more
days.
active.
Yeah, that's
Like our
when
TVs. We have a bunch of TVs that go out around big days.
Big days. Yeah, like our customer appreciation sale. We had some people might remember we had a big TV in the front room and we play Pandora or YouTube videos on it and stuff. And it was working fine like the whole time before. And then we came in that Saturday for our customer appreciation sale, and it did that, like you turn it on, it looked like something hit it. And it just wouldn't work. And now we have 2 TVs out in here again. Before we started this, I had this recording and it just shuts off. And we're like, the lights are kind of flickering. She knows. She wants her 15 minutes of fame here. She knows.
She's like, you better mention me to the
She's like, it's
I'm
my
coming
chance.
for you.
Yeah. But, yeah, the purses have fallen. One time.
The lead room?
Yeah, that was all in the same day. Do you remember
It was,
that?
yeah, because we were over here in the youth section, and it was me, George, and Lindsay. I think we were back there looking for like consignment to like mark down. And we were like all the way down there so we could see down the hallway this way. And just out of nowhere, one of the brushes just goes flying off the wall, hits the stirrups, falls to the ground. In that moment that we were like, in that area, we were looking at the lead ropes because they were swinging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what had caught our attention because we were like,
First.
look, the lead
Yeah.
ropes are swinging. So we were looking at them, and then out of nowhere, that brush just goes flying and boom, hits the ground.
It broke, didn't it? Don't you remember? Because
It-
it
it-
wasn't like it just fell off the peg. No,
Yeah.
it shot across from the pony section and it hit the stirrups and then like fell on the ground and it broke. It broke the brush. And then the lead ropes are still swinging.
And then as we walked over to pick up the brush, then one of the hats was like,
and the freaking purse flew off the
Yeah.
shelf.
Didn't it? What was it that went up the stairs? Was it the purse?
I can't
I think
remember.
it was
I think
the
it was
I think
the
it
purse
was
now
the
that
purse
you say
because we
that.
had like our display like there, like
Yeah.
where the like leather CPR and all that is. We had like a tall standing like stand.
Yeah.
And so, like, if it would have just fell, like, coincidentally, then it would just have landed right there. But no, it was, like, up by, like, the pads,
Yeah, that's
I
right. I
believe.
forgot about that. It's just, you know, and I know a lot of people, like, I go home and tell Keegan, my husband, and he's like, psh, whatever. He's like,
"Ain't
you
that even
guys are
happening?"
just making this up. And it's, no, there's so much, like,
Stuff in the shipping room.
the shipping room. When you come in here by yourself, it reminds me of your stupid clown mask. So I used to work on Sundays and I'd come in the morning before we opened to get things like prepared. And dude, she would mess with me so bad. And we had this like customer come in and consign some stuff with us. And they were these little tiny kids' red rubber rain boots, just like from the It movies of this clown that we have here today. And that, like, I've watched the movies, but they scare me. Like, I'm scared of clowns, so it scares me. And I had just recently watched the new ones. And I, like, walk in, I shut the alarm off. They're crazy.
They're worse.
They're worse. And so I shut the alarm off, I turn the lights on, and I'm walking. And I kid you not, I round the corner, and those stupid rain boots, I didn't even know that they were in here. I didn't know that they were consigned. Like, somebody did it on the weekend. They were, like, in the middle of the hallway, but they were, like this. As if someone was like walking, and it's like they just stepped out of them. And I straight up, I had my coffee and everything, and I went, nope. And I walked around and went a different room. Like, because it's just, you'll hear people running in here. Like, talk about Dana with her laugh.
I don't know. It was a birthday. I don't know whose birthday it was. And it was funny because that day, Dana was telling me that she went out to the shed and that she has like this red rocking chair. And that she went out to the shed to look for something, and that she saw that chair just by itself, like in the other room. And
It's like farther.
Yeah,
It's like in the back
and she
room,
said
yeah.
she saw it, and it was just rocking while she was in there.
Ain't no way, dude.
And so she came in, and she had told me about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was like, it's a little scary. So then, I guess Dana had left up to her house. I didn't know. So then I get this phone call, and they were like, can I speak to Dana? I was like, yeah, let me go find her. So I was coming up here in the like front room, and I was calling to Dana. I was like, hey, Dana. And I was looking for her, and then I hear her like laugh in like our office.
She has a very
it's a very distinct laugh.
Yeah.
You know.
You
when
can't
Dana
miss
laughs.
Yeah, so as I walked by, I swear I heard her laugh. I was like, hey, Dana, and she laughed. And then I walked right, and it was loud too. It wasn't like, oh, like she was like far or anything. No, it was like as if it was like right next to me. That's
Yeah.
why when I passed by the office. So I walked in there and I was like, hey, Dana, somebody. And then it was like, the lights were off in the office. And nobody
God, that
was
makes it
in there.
worse.
Nobody was in there.
That's freaky.
And I swore, like, I heard her laugh. And I was just so shocked because I was like,
You're like, what
I
the heck?
swear,
I
like
heard
it
that.
was loud. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like when she laughs, like when we're here or
Yeah,
somewhere,
you
she
can
laughs really
hear.
loudly. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it sounded like. So that's why I confidently like walked in there. I was like, hey, Dana. And then it's like,
Nope, she's not in there. I don't know. I constantly, when I come in the mornings, I feel like these saddles are hard too because they're stacked so high. It's kind of creepy anyways.
I swear to God, I just saw something. So
I
don't
know.
even-
Well, and it's deceiving, and it kind of plays tricks on your minds because as you're like walking through, they're stacked so much, and you're passing by, and it gives real creepy vibes. I always feel like someone's like
Saddle
hearing
corn
like
maze.
yeah, it's like a saddle cord maze. Yeah, it's a little crazy. And I always like I'll come in and I swear, same thing. I've done that where I hear her cowboy boots like walking down, and I'll say, "Hey, good morning, Dana," and
Dana
it's like
struts in her
she
cowboy
struts in those boots. So I can same thing. It's distinctive. I know it's her. And nope, there's nobody else in here. And or I'll be in the office and I'll hear people and I'll straight up go, like, I thought you and George were here that one day, and I was like, hey, good morning, guys. I'm like, guys,
And
nobody's here.
We weren't even here yet. Like to
No.
say like, oh, we were outside or something.
No,
we weren't even
we
here.
weren't even here. And or when that door swung open back there and
Oh,
scared me
yeah.
so bad, that was I was crying.
Yeah,
that got me really good.
With the door that we're talking about, you have to.
You gotta push it.
You gotta push it to close it, so you always know that you close it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you also gotta like push it to open it.
Open it, yeah. It's kind of a sticky door. And I watched the cameras because I'm like, gosh, maybe I just didn't like push it hard enough. No, I push on that door and it was shut. And I mean that thing swung open and it hit the English saddles.
But it's also heavy too.
It's heavy,
It's
yeah.
a heavy door.
It hit those English saddles and the English saddles like
They're,
were
like,
doing this and I
shaking.
was like, and I just watched I saw it in the cameras and I watched and nobody came in and I was like, oh my God. So I went to investigate and I was like crying. Like I was so scared. It scared me so bad.
Lindsay.
Yeah, I did. I was like, dude, I can't. I'm like that. I don't know. It's very weird in here. We've even had, not that I won't say the customer's name. I don't know her name, but this one time when we first moved in here, these customers walked in and all of this stuff kind of started happening very quickly after we moved in here and we all started noticing it. And, I was like at my desk and I'm typing and these customers, she like made it like halfway in the middle of the front room there, which is kind of like outside my door a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was in a rolly chair and she stops and I kind of saw her. And so I was kind of looking, but kind of typing and her friend goes, hey, are you good? What's wrong? And she goes, there's spirits here. And I like rolled my I'm like, say what spirits? There's an S on the end of that. And I was like, I just was in such shock. I wanted to ask her about it, but it felt kind of weird. Like, but I rolled out and I looked at her, and she was so distraught she had to leave. Like,
I was gonna
she didn't
didn't
shop.
you say they didn't shop?
No,
Like they left?
because she was like so uneasy in here, and I don't know what it was. Like, we never asked her about it. She stood there for a minute, and her friend was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, I need to leave." And I'm like, "Take me with you." Like, it's weird.
It's weird.
It gives creepy vibes, like. Or
I mean, so it's not just Joyce, it's Joyce in her club.
it could be.
Joyce
You
in her
never know.
club.
Like these old buildings. This is an old building. I mean, truthfully, there's been a lot of different people. There's been a lot of
history
different
behind
things. Yeah, a lot of history. I mean, especially I feel like out in these kind of farm town, like smaller
Rural,
towns,
yeah.
It's a
rural
ghost
towns.
town.
Yeah, seriously, and I don't know.
Children
it's
of the
just
corn.
weird. Yeah, but it gives
mean,
off
there are
that
cornfields
creepy, There's
everywhere.
cornfields everywhere. Like so, I don't know. It gives off creepy vibes. And then most recently, I came in and there was we have kids' toys and it's like this bubble gun. It's like I think that's what it is, right?
dispenser,
It's like
yeah.
it's shaped like a horse, but it's a bubble gun. And I come in and the package is like ripped open and the bubbles are everywhere, the horse is everywhere, and it's like all over the floor. And I'm like, what? And we just opened. So, and we're not gonna leave something like that. If if we were closing and we saw that, we would take care of it. So I went and I watched the cameras. The cameras are a blessing and also not because you can see all this go down,
Yeah.
So I looked and it's always like at midnight. That's when the things go crazy.
Or that hat on top of the knives.
And it was at midnight. So yeah, this horse toy, I'm like looking through the cameras and just around midnight, all of a sudden this package just like explodes and the horse like just blah, just like comes out. It was really crazy.
I remember you showing me.
It
That
was
was so scary. Like it was
wild.
just sitting there, and out of
Yeah,
nowhere,
nothing.
it just like opens.
Boom.
It's like
It
everything
just opens and then
scatters.
everything just like explodes. It's not like the package ripped and it just fell down. No, like the whole thing just it's like got that plastic like I don't know where like a vacuum seal almost
Yeah.
like and it just and everything went.
And just like
And then shortly after we have the hats on the knife case and those things have been there
Probably weeks.
if not months. I mean, and it's not like they're just teetering on the edge. They're like up
They're,
on
like,
that
placed,
base.
yeah.
Yeah. And same thing, I walked in and there's a hat laying like over by the bit wall.
It is pretty far
It
away.
was pretty
from-
far and I was like, what the heck? So I looked at the cameras and sure enough at like 11:50-ish, all of a sudden everything was fine and it's dark in here. And all of a sudden that hat, I mean, it didn't just like,
oh.
teeter off. No, it like, whoa, just like flew off of that freaking thing. Just one of them. Just one of them. The others were fine and they've never fallen off. Never. It's so weird.
lately, she likes to mess with me back here in the shipping.
Yeah, the shipping area.
She likes to mess with me lately because there was like one Tuesday I was working and like we have like all our bins, right? Like they were stacked. Like one was like misplaced wrong, but it wasn't that it like coincidentally just fell into the other bins.
Yeah.
Like it was just sitting there, and I had been here for like a good hour, and within that hour, like it was fine. And then out of nowhere, like I'm just sitting there shipping, and then it's just like, boom,
Just falls.
and I looked over and I was like, okay, I was just like, no, it's whatever. And I looked back at the cameras. It's like it was sitting like that the whole time, the whole hour that I was here. I was like, if it wanted to fall, it would have fell.
beforehand, like
And before,
Yeah.
for how long?
Like overnight,
yeah.
and I was just like, and
It's
then on
just
Sunday,
weird.
literally recently, this last Sunday,
Yeah.
Lauren and I were back
that
there.
one pile of boxes.
Yeah, we were back there, and she was making boxes for me, and I was packing a saddle, and I was like right next to it. I was like, mind you, I was right here, and it was just like right aside from me. And I was like talking to her, going on with my day, just telling her things. And I'm like packing the saddle, and then this box, it's like a 5-star box, like it was like angled for some reason. And then it's like as if somebody just like, okay, it was like this-ish. It's like as if somebody grabbed it and it just went straight.
Yeah, it's like they just grabbed it. It was.
And they just like
It's
fixed
just
it.
oddly specific, like the angles that things happen at. That's the thing. It's not like a coincidence. Like it's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. Even our podcast, when we're doing the podcast, like I know you guys have probably watched, but the lights flicker, they change, the hues, like the color tone, like it's very weird and things just happen. And I know it sounds stupid, but we've been talking about doing this and talking about it, because it's just fun and with Halloween and stuff. But I think she like knows because she's been oddly active. Like she'll be dormant and then just all of a sudden it just kind of.
You had your 15 minutes today.
Yeah, there you go.
Wherever
Yes.
you're at.
Yeah. I mean, we could go on. There's so many weird things that, I mean.
And it's like weird that it happens just like with us. Like customers can come in and
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Recently,
but then once they leave, it's just like
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but recently, like, when someone puts a saddle on a stand, even if we're pretty busy in here, I feel like you can hear it. Like, with the stirrups hitting the sides, like, there's a very distinct noise, and pulling them off the stands, it makes a certain noise, or at least I can hear it.
Me too.
Especially on the stand in the middle room. Not so much these ones, but it's been doing that recently. Like, when there's no customers in here, you hear it sounds like someone pulling it off and putting it on a saddle stand. And Morgan and I have heard it, and I'm like, is someone in here? And she's like, I didn't think so. We'll go walk, and nobody's in here. And I'm like, you heard that though, right? And she's like, oh yeah, it sounded like someone put a saddle stand put a saddle on the stand. And I'm like, I don't know. She's trying out some saddles too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, she's trying to find the perfect
Shopping.
fit.
Yeah, she's like, it's my time.
She's probably scheduled
Time
a
to
saddle
saddle
fit
up,
with her
yeah.
ghost horse.
With her ghost horse. That's funny.
I wonder what she thinks when she's like ready to like activate. She's probably like, you guys better saddle up.
Yeah, she's like, better saddle up. She probably gets bored. She's like, it's time for some excitement.
She's like, it's time to.
It's my time to
Spice
shine.
it up.
Spice it up. I don't know. We could go on. It's just, honestly, I feel like it would be very interesting to do.
I could say we could all of us have at least experienced something.
Something, yeah.
up
Even
in
if you
here.
don't necessarily believe in it, like I
Yeah.
feel like you,
Or even know about
or
her.
even know about her. It's just weird.
Like I knew nothing about
And you
Anna's
noticed some
parents.
weird stuff,
Yeah,
though,
I knew
happening.
nothing about
Yeah.
her parents.
It's so odd. And like Bill, he even experiences it. And I wouldn't say he's a huge believer in that stuff.
Yeah.
But like the other day, same thing kind of with the bins. We had these like, I want to say like buckets, like for the pegs and stuff sitting in
Yeah.
the back. And they've been back there for a long time. And same thing, it like, we watched on the camera, Bill walks back there and it like just topples over.
Yeah.
And he straight up, he's like, he looks and he runs over
He
to his
runs
desk.
away!
He grabs his Pepsi. And then
Did he actually?
He grabbed his Pepsi and he's like,
He runs
and
away.
then he ran down to the office and he's like, she's back there. Like, it's just funny. And then, yeah, don't ever be with George if she's doing stuff because he
he'll,
will
like-
straight
Oh my
up
God.
sacrifice
Yeah,
you.
he'll
He
just
threw me
throw it.
to her one time when all that was going on.
Yeah.
He was like, nope.
It's even funnier because he's a big guy.
He's massive.
He's
yeah.
a big guy, but
He's such a chicken when it comes to that. Yeah, he's like, no way.
Literally, I remember he grabbed Lindsay and he's like, Lindsay, go.
And then he
you're
was
going."
using me as like a shield,
As a
and I'm
shield
like,
everywhere.
what's going on? But we should do like a haunted night and just have customers. But she probably wouldn't do it. That's the
I know.
when we want her to.
Yeah.
She's like,
Should have a sleepover here.
No way. Like, when the lights are off in here, I'm out of here. It is so creepy.
We'll have like some lights and we'll bring flashlights, you know?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm up for the challenge, but I don't know if I can make it.
I feel like it would be fun.
It would be fun, but I don't know. I bet it would be scary. We could record the whole thing.
We could.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. Do like a saddle up ghost hunting.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I did do, which I don't know how accurate it is, there was a trend going around on TikTok a long time ago where it was like a AI filter.
It was like a filter.
Yeah, and you'd take a picture and it would
Yeah.
show if someone was like standing there or whatever.
Yeah.
I did a video in here and it was creepy. Like every room that I did it, there was somebody standing there. And I don't know how like accurate that is,
yeah.
but still, I'm like.
But for it to pick up something and create like a body or a person out of it, that's kind of.
And I did it where there was like nothing, like a wall or something.
Yeah, so
and
you
then
can't
it's just
say
this
where
person.
like say you looked
like
at
a
a saddle and
or
it was like,
something.
oh, I
yeah,
got the figure from it.
no, it was I don't know. I feel like this building is just kind of. And it's like I said, there's something with the saddles, especially when it starts to get like dark in here and you turn the lights out. How they're stacked, it's very.
I
like,
could say like when
uneasy.
we like leave on Sundays, like Ronnie, like if she gets to the back before us, she'll turn off like the
Yeah.
lights.
Oh
And
my
when
God.
I'm like
I would
walking, it's not that I'm necessarily like scared or anything, but like when I'm walking, it gets really pitch black in here, really pitch black, and it's like
you can't
it's
see.
weird because
It's
like how I'm so little, you know, like the
Yeah.
stands are way taller than me, so
Yeah.
it feels like they're like coming down on me or something.
And it feels like there's like people watching you through. It's just I don't know. I get a very uneasy like.
Yeah.
And I feel like our technology gets messed with a lot.
It
Like it's
does.
just I don't know, the music will stop playing, the TVs will go out randomly.
Or the music will start playing in Dana's
Yeah.
office.
Oh
on
yeah,
her
on her
computer.
computer it'll start like blaring in there. Like I don't know, it's just we need like a psychic or a medium to come in here and be like
Our next podcast, we're gonna have like
like a Ouija board.
Where's our crystal ball?
We're gonna have somebody
I'm just
in
so
here
curious
like, giving
because
us.
it's weird things. I don't know. We could go on, but fly off the shelf. You hear people. I've heard voices. Like I've heard people laughing. You know. I mean, it's just. I want to talk to that lady that came in here with like there's spirits in here.
I wonder which one she was because of the stuff out. In
Yeah,
the
the
shirt.
weird.
Yeah.
That shed is
Well,
weird.
the fact
man.
that she said spirits.
And the attic too. I get a creepy vibe. That's the other thing. Sometimes when I come in here, I'll be walking, and I swear to God, it sounds like someone's walking above you, like with you.
Or I heard those birds.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly,
Oh
I
yeah,
heard
or
those
you'll
birds.
hear things. Yeah, Lauren swears she heard birds up there. I've heard like a scurrying up
I've
there.
heard it
Yeah.
in the back.
Yeah.
In the shipping room.
Yes.
But if you go up there, there's nothing up
There's
there.
nothing.
There's
no.
nothing.
When I was in the shipping room, I was just back there. I was sitting there. I was like focused, right? And I know I could hear like like when somebody's up there. I heard it back there, but like in a
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
I have not been all the way back there.
I haven't either. I don't
It's-
think I could. It's
I
scary.
don't think you even can.
Oh
go back
yeah,
there.
there's a little people door like in the. It's about right.
But it's like a small one.
It's
It's like you have to like
tiny.
crouch
Tiny.
or something like
I mean,
that.
George fit through it.
George
so.
has gone all the way back there.
But like you crouch, don't you?
You crouch, yeah.
Yes,
it's-
but
it's
this was
tiny.
like as if somebody was walking up
I know.
there, like full
I
on,
hear
like
the
straight up
same
walking.
thing. Like
if it
when
was
I come in,
crawling.
like I've even stopped and like looked up, and it stops. And as soon as I start walking again, it starts. And
It starts
it'll
going
like
with you?
follow me all the way into the office. It's so weird. Or I've started really, and I don't even know too if it's just me like freaking myself out, but like you see things. I swear, like I've seen people walk by or something, and you're like, what the heck?
I swear, sometimes in the back, I see you guys like peep in through the corners or the curtains.
Yes.
When I'm like sitting there, I'm like there, and I swear, like out of like the corner of my eye, I see you guys go like
And
that
you're
or
like,
something.
"Mm-mm,"
And it's
and
it's quick.
nobody.
It's quick. It's not
the-
like it's like
Do the curtains ever move?
no, not really. But I swear, I've seen you guys like.
Just,
Peep in or
like-
something like quick, but it's
Yeah.
weird because when they do it to me, they like sit here and stay till I realize.
Right.
So that's why it's odd to me that when I like see it or whatever, it's just like quick,
That's the
and
same
it's, like,
thing. I'll
that's
see,
it.
and it's like super quick, and I'm like, what the heck was
It's just
that?
like
Yeah,
and
and
that's
the
it.
doors in the office have shut before. Like, I don't know. It's
Maybe
just
the
creepy.
glue's getting to the best of us.
Yeah, maybe it's the
Maybe,
saddle
yeah.
glue in here. Maybe we're all just
Maybe
going
we're
crazy.
just crazy.
Maybe we're just crazy. Yeah, it could just
it's not
be that,
even.
But
Joyce comes back.
Yes,
She's like,
it
Why
is.
are you guys blaming me? Oh,
yeah, she's like, it's not me. Yeah,
like, I'm
Y'all
not
are-
even here.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's a little creepy in here. It's no joke. That's for sure. Halloween or not, man, we got a shop ghost in here.
Year round.
She be shopping for some saddles.
She has her occasions that she likes to
Come
present
check
herself
in.
more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, now that
Alright.
we've talked about our spookiness that goes on here in the store, so you guys envy us so much.
I mean, if you guys want to come in and like experience something,
Yeah,
just
come to the sleepover.
yeah. We gotta plan that.
Saddle up sleepover, free
but-
haunted house, dude. We don't even need like props. It's just all authentic.
It's all real.
It's all real.
It's all real.
It's all real.
100% real. So can't guarantee you'll leave here.
Yeah, can't
safe
guarantee. Yeah.
Or without a scare.
Without us, yeah. We went to this creepy walk in the woods this weekend, and what did they say? Don't know if you'll come out or not.
Yeah, they're like, how many of you guys are there? And we're like 6. And like, well, we can't guarantee that all you guys are gonna come out.
Yeah, so same thing with the saddle shop. If you sleep over here,
I mean, they said it jokingly. I mean,
we're not.
we're not kidding. I mean,
Yeah.
it's up to you if you want to risk that or
Yeah.
take that risk.
But we did do some research to try to keep the spooky vibes on some really cool saddle makers from a long time ago. So we did some research. I know she's here. She's listening.
That's
to it.
another
She's
thing.
tuning in.
Like
The-
before we
it's
switch up, like it's
cold.
always
It's
cold.
so cold in here.
And,
Like it'll be like 90 degrees outside, and we're in here with our jackets. It's so cold.
It's cold in here, and the thing with that is that like, by what I know is that like ghosts or anything or any presence,
They're cold.
they're cold. They love
ice.
the cold. So it's like it would make sense.
Their corpse cold.
Maybe I'm the ghost.
Maybe it's Araceli.
Maybe I'm the
funny.
ghost. Let me just change real quick.
Oh my god. You want the mask?
No,
Oh.
I like to be seen.
I like to be seen. but yeah, so we'll talk about some saddle makers too, because I think it goes with the spooky vibes. 'Cause
It
there's
does.
some pretty interesting guys that we found. They were into some stuff.
Pretty
Yeah.
okay. They're a little
Little out there.
questionable. But
Little
it's
questionable.
like okay,
Joyce and them they probably hang out now.
yeah.
Ooh.
Just saying.
They probably came back and haunted us. They're like, oh, this girl did research on me, so I'm gonna come after her. He's like, tell my story right.
Yeah, you better get it right.
All right. Well, starting off, I am. What did I say? Not investigated.
Investigated.
I researched Robert E. Lee Brown, also known as Bob Brown. He was a very interesting guy. I mean, all his work was featured like nearly in every Western Hollywood movie produced from like 1938 to 1950. So
Wow.
like, any Western Hollywood movie that you watch, like all his work was in there, from like knife sheaths to like chaps to his saddles, like everything was featured in those movies.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, I mean, like I said, like I was telling you guys, his work consisted of like hats, chaps, boots, to gun belts, to French gloves, to more than over 50 silver saddles.
Jeez.
And like he was known as the leather maker to the stars. Like that was his title, was the leather maker to the stars, because like all his stuff was featured in
Wow.
Hollywood movies.
For the stars.
World stars, yeah.
But Brown was originally from Indiana, but he moved and grew up in Long Beach, California from like the age of 6. He studied at the Pasadena City College, and then he attended the Chenard's Art School, where he studied under a man by the name of Tink Adams. While under Adams, Brown studied like layouts, lettering, composition, like all that good stuff.
Wow.
And then he went to work for Frankie Paul as a leather carver and designer in 1934, which started his career as like a leather artist. And then along with starting his career, he also suffered like a neck injury,
Oh, geez.
which like caused severe problems for him, which I was like, we just heard like a noise.
Dude, it sounded
So
like a
Joyce
wall
is-
just fell
Joyce
down.
is being
Sorry.
active. Joyce is being. He's like, that wasn't right. Oh,
He's like, hey.
he's like, get that right. But like, he also suffered from like a neck injury, which caused like severe headaches for him. So like,
Oh.
it was kind of like hard to like work with like those severe headaches. But he
did it?
did it. He like
Wow.
kept on going. That didn't stop his career. Like it did say like in some of the like research that I did, like some pages did say that he like didn't continue his career as a leather maker, but in the book that I like read about him, which is like I kind of like believe more
Did
in
you
the book
cite your
than
sources?
online. No, I did not cite my sources. But no, actually I have them right here. They're right here. I did. Not properly, but they're right here. But the book that I was reading, like I believe the book more because it was like, it's an older book.
Yeah.
So I believe it more than
very
like what I see
authentic,
online,
yeah.
because what I see online is not very. I think it was like, sort of kind of like Wikipedia is the site that I was looking at, so it's kind of like not reliable so much.
Absolutely.
But like it did say that he continued, that it didn't stop him, that he had a
Wow.
passion for leather making and all that, so he just continued. That he just with this neck injury and all these severe headaches, it didn't stop him.
That's amazing.
And then In 1936, Brown realized that he wanted to like take up a new occupation as like a deputy sheriff for Los Angeles, California. And so he took a break from leather making. So then he changed his occupation to becoming like a deputy. And so he started in like 1950, and then he retired in 1970. And the last person that he arrested before he retired was Sirhan Sirhan, the assassin of Robert Kennedy.
Wow.
Was the last person that he put in handcuffs before he retired.
That's crazy. That gave me goosebumps.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, imagine being like a leather maker, you know, for your younger years, and then you take up a new occupation in like your midlife, and you just like arrest the person that like assassinated someone.
That's insane.
I feel like history is kind of a weird thing because, like, at the time, they don't know how big of a deal that is.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't know. Like, obviously.
Stuff that happens now with us, like,
we don't realize how big it is, but in a
will
few
be.
years or
Like
decades even, I mean,
you know,
it's
he probably was
huge.
like, oh, it's just another person
just
that
another
I
guy.
arrested, you know?
Wow.
Like, before he retired. Like, that's the last person he put in handcuffs before he retired.
That's insane. Oh my gosh.
I,
Holy smokes.
I know.
Nice.
And then, so after his retirement, like, he retired and you would, like, think, oh, like, he would just live on life just the rest of life. No. He had a passion for his leather making, so he opened up his own shop again, and he kept doing his leather making. He moved to Big Bear City, and him and his wife, they opened up his new shop again, and he continued his leather making. Like, he had a passion for it. And so also he became a well-known legend for recreating American history.
That's amazing. What a
From
cool
being
guy.
like a leather maker, and then a deputy, and going back to leather
back
making.
to his, like,
he was
roots
creative.
almost.
He had a passion for it, and
Aw,
he
that's
continued
so
that
cool.
passion.
What a cool guy.
Another fun fact that I forgot to mention is that as he was like starting up his career to become a leather maker, he had no tools. No tools at all. And he so he discovered that he needed tools, like he didn't have enough money to buy like tools already made.
Right.
So if I remember right, on a page that I was looking at, it said that this like millionaire had passed away like on this steel rod bed. I don't know, like I can't remember like where or like what place it was. And it said that he like snuck in one day like 3 years after that millionaire had passed away on that bed. He snuck into that like building that they were holding the bed in. He snuck in and he just cut off steel rods off the bed that the millionaire died on.
Oh,
And he
is
made
he
his
still
tools.
on the bed? I sure hope not.
No,
I
it was
don't
3 years. It was 3
He's
years
like,
after.
excuse me.
No, it was 3 years after the millionaire had passed away. He just snuck in, and he
There was
cut
like
off.
a little knuckle
I
sitting there.
know, he like cut off the steel rods off that bed that the millionaire died on. He made his tools.
Wow.
He made his leather making tools.
Out of
Yeah.
that particular bed.
And that's what he used all like through his career.
His shop was definitely haunted.
Like through all his years of leather making, like that was his
That was his
tool
tools?
the
That's
tools
really
that he
cool.
used.
Oh my
Because he didn't have the money to afford it. And it's funny because we can even find like, I mean, you can find his work in like numerous museums, but like we can find some here in Colorado.
Oh, that's cool.
Like knowing that he was like not even from here, like he
But he made
originated
that
in
big.
Indiana,
Yeah.
and he like grew up in California in Long Beach. Like you can find his work here at the Buffalo Bill Memorial Museum in Colorado.
Oh,
That's cool.
Like,
We should go.
We can take like a trip and be like, hey, that was Bob's Brown's work.
Road.
Road. Yeah, he was quite big.
That's awesome.
He was quite big.
That's cool.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to kind of keep researching on
You
him,
should.
or like just other people in general, because like it's
It's
weird.
very
Like you're a
interesting.
leather maker, you're a saddle maker, and then you're a deputy, and then you arrest like someone that assassinated someone very important, and
Right.
then you
Just
go
go
back
back
to
to
leather
it.
making. Just like
I
you
feel
go on
like
with your
there's
life.
so many stories like that in saddle making that people don't even realize. We don't even realize. Like I've never heard of him before. That's cool. You know?
It's like weird how
Yeah.
everyone has like their own story. It's like Bill. Like
Yeah. Same with Bill.
I didn't know he was like a jockey and did
didn't
all these
either.
other things.
I didn't either,
Like
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's like other than like leather making, it's like they have their own like little stories. Like
History,
it's, along
you
with
know?
yours, like I was like overlooking like on yours. And it's like yours is interesting too, like his little
He's a cool
story.
dude.
I was like,
Yeah, he's a cool
I was
guy.
like,
I really
dang.
like him.
I was like, I want to meet
reading,
this guy.
I was reading that saddle maker book, and not that I feel like all of them are very cool, but there were more tidbits on certain makers than there were others, and his just caught my eye. Like, it was just a little interesting.
Well, that was the same with mine when I was like, looking, I was
Yeah.
like, who am I gonna research? You know, because I didn't know what, and like I looked at yours and I was like, oh, he has like a long,
Yeah, like
quite
a
little
little
story.
bio. Yeah.
So then I was like looking for someone like shorter, like that had no like story or bio or whatever. I was like, you know. But then I caught that one and I was like, no, I think these ones that have like the longer bio are the ones that have like more
history.
Yeah, or they have like more excitement like in their lives, or they did more, or they have like quite a lot to talk about. So
Absolutely.
I was like, oh. And I'm kind of glad I found him because
Yeah, I'm glad you did too. That's interesting.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
That ain't just leather.
That ain't just leather.
That
Yeah.
ain't just leather.
he was like praised in Hollywood because all his work was in every movie. And
That's
then
cool.
he becomes a deputy and then goes back to leather making.
Kicks butt in the deputy world, and then he's like, I'm gonna go back to
He's
saddles.
like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to making saddles and leather work.
Yes, that's cool. Well, yeah, my guy, let's see. His name is Tom Flynn, and it was more so known as his saddles were stamped T. Flynn Maker, and it was actually in Pueblo, Colorado.
Oh.
So he didn't originate here, but that's like this is where he. Well, actually, no, I think he did. Yeah, so he opened his first saddle shop in 1880, and it was originally in Silver Cliff, Colorado. So I'm not 100% sure where that is, but I'm pretty sure it's south, like in the mountains, maybe. I don't know. Colorado's so big. There's so many towns I've never heard of in my life. So Silver Cliff originated, this was the time when like mining was huge. So Silver Cliff was a booming mining town. So everybody and their brother was moving to Silver Cliff because of the gold and whatnot. So he thought, I'm gonna go there because that's sought after. So once he went out there, he opened his own saddle shop, and shortly after that, the mining came to like a halt, like because it did everywhere. Like eventually, the mining just wasn't as big as it once was. So it really put the town in a huge financial problem. Obviously, like that's that was a lot of their revenue. It brought a bunch of people, and then it just halted. So like everyone in the town, Tom kind of decided he needed to make a change if he wanted to continue this business. He couldn't stay in Silver Cliff. So when he decided to leave, the bank just so happened to like close their doors because all of this was going down. It was probably like a very like catastrophic time. So they shut their doors and they locked like all of the town's money inside and just like skipped town.
All right,
so nobody could get their
those
money.
Rats.
So they just held the money like in there, and Tom was determined. He's like, no, I've worked hard for my money. I'm not leaving without my money. So he went on like a manhunt, and he searched and hunted for the bank president, and he found the bank president as he's like packing his suitcase, and he's like getting the heck out of town. And he tried to be civil with him and was like, hey man, I need my money. Everybody needs their money. Do the right thing, then you can skip town and do whatever. And the bank president was like, no, I'm getting out of here.
It's my money.
So when the civilized conversation didn't work, Tom basically pointed a gun to the banker's ribs and was like, you're giving me my money. And so after that, it said in the book, the banker was happy to give Tom all of his money back at that point.
He's like,
so I thought that was crazy. He had to go on a manhunt and like go to that level
miscommunication.
to get his money back.
Not only that, but like hold someone at gunpoint.
At gunpoint, like it was that big of a
won't
deal.
fairly give him his money.
Yeah. So then in 1889, he reopened his saddle shop. He moved it to Pueblo. So that's where he originated or started back up, was in Pueblo. So T. Flynn Saddlery, they made many saddles for Wild West shows. So not necessarily movies, but like the old like Wild Bill, like kind of Indian
like
shows, that type of stuff. And he was also the co-creator of the Pueblo style saddle, which is very popular. It was in a lot of those books and stuff. And then in 1921, a massive storm came through, unfortunately, in Pueblo, and his shop was flooded. So it did a lot of damage. Like, he pretty much lost everything, and he really tried to rebuild it. And it sounded like once he got to that point of, man, the shop's back up and running and rebuilding everything, he died like 6 months later. And it didn't say what he died of. I wish it would have, because I tried to research him, but I couldn't find much on him.
It's like weird because I
very
tried to like
vague.
research mine as well,
Yeah.
and you have to be like specific, like in a way to like find him. Because I found like a whole bunch of other people, and I'm like, this isn't my.
You can find a lot
isn't
of
my guy.
obituaries online, but like
It's
when you want to
weird.
find one.
You can't find it. So yeah, I could not find out how he died, but basically 6 months after the flood, it sounded like once they got things rebuilt, he did pass away. He did have a son. His son's name was Frank. He really tried to keep the shop going, but he had a lot of struggles. So sadly, the shop did close in 1935. And it just is sad, you know? Like, I don't know. I think,
is sad.
but he had kind of a cool story and cool legacy.
Right?
He helped
Well, it's
with
like
the
it's
Pueblo
crazy. Like
saddles
imagine
and
if that
stuff.
would have like continued, like say
I know.
it would have like continued on to like today. It
Today
would've
we
just
probably
passed on,
would
like,
see
that
them
would be-
here, you know? I mean, truthfully, yeah. I don't know. It just, and it's hard too because those saddles, like the ones that you're saying that we can see here in Colorado from your guy, and then I've never personally seen like a Tieflin saddle, but I'm sure they're out there,
Yeah,
especially
they're-
since they're in or they were in Pueblo. It's hard too because the collectible value is not what it once was.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate because these are the history behind these saddles is just so cool.
It's crazy.
You know, I mean, it's gotten us to where we are today, but it's sad because the internet prices. I mean, that's
They're
really
outrageous.
tanked the collectible value. Unfortunately they're like a dime a dozen now because all these collectors have gotten them. They're all
Yeah.
over the internet. So what you could get like $2,000 for like an old Hamley saddle, we can't even get $500 for them anymore. And
Yeah.
it's really sad because look at all that these guys went through
Yeah.
to build this industry and evolve it and make it what it is today.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but I thought both of those guys are pretty cool.
They were.
In my mind, maybe they like cross paths and they're like best friends. We don't know.
Yeah, they could be. They're probably
could
like
be.
buddies with Joyce.
They're probably hanging out right now watching
Yeah,
us.
like
They're
these
yeah.
girls didn't tell our story straight. So
Yeah,
let's come
we're gonna
after
haunt
them.
them today.
Like, I'm gonna get them, especially on their saddle night.
on our sleepover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. No, they were pretty cool. I thought I don't know, and just the time change, like the differences in time nowadays, you would never have to do something like that. Like even
You'll get arrested for
get
just
arrested
at
yeah,
gunpoint
I
with
mean,
someone.
But back then, that's what you had to do to get your money. When the mining is just, out the window, he's like, "Give me my money, fool."
He's like, you're giving it to me now, or you're never seeing the light of day again.
Pretty much.
I kind of just thought about it with saddle history. Back then, I think it was a lot more ranch type saddles.
Yeah, I mean, more so their horses were
Working
work
horses,
animals. Yeah,
And
not pleasure.
that has progressed to like pleasure and show, but
Performance and
yeah.
stuff.
But
yeah.
like what I'm thinking about is we get a lot of the old saddles, and even those have changed. Like if I look at an old ranch saddle versus
that rancher.
that one, kind of a big difference. Those horns.
The horns have
The
changed
horns.
drastically. And
They-
the seats.
I feel like they're more like a bulldogging horn.
Yeah,
From
no,
all
you're
the-
right.
They just stick out so much further. And it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
But everything changes so quickly about them.
yeah. Well, can you even imagine like what saddle disciplines didn't exist back then? Like you're right. Like I'm sure they
Oh.
didn't have
I
ranch
think
cutters,
they were just
barrel
built.
saddles.
They
They're
were
just
just
saddles.
built.
Yeah, they didn't even classify them as something. They weren't,
Or I'm sure there was ones that like got built differently, but they didn't have their own category.
title.
They
Right,
just
yeah.
it was like it's like a special order.
Right. No, yeah, you walked in and you're like, I just need a saddle. You wouldn't walk in and say, yeah, I need a barrel saddle.
yeah.
You know, it's just crazy. So all that evolving that it had to do, I don't know. It's just crazy.
There's a lot of how much it's evolved. Like there's so many different types of saddles now.
Yeah.
Like some kind of small like key differences between some of them are like the cutters versus like the ranch cutters.
Yeah.
I feel like a big distinction for a lot of saddles is can you rope or can you not rope out of them?
Absolutely.
Those ranch cutters, you can rope out of them. They got the same type of build, a flatter seat for balance rides, kind of staying out of the horse's way.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more. A ranch cutter is a lot more sturdy. You don't want to go roping off a cutting saddle.
No, yeah,
just
pop
a
that
ranch.
one off. Yeah, even though it's a ranch saddle, I mean, yeah. No, I agree with you. I feel like you can do a lot out of any discipline of saddle, but it
Yeah.
really boils down to, well, are you needing a rope or are you not roping? Because that's when you have to find something different.
I mean, and there's, certain types like a reining saddle. It has a lot lower cantle, a rise in the front of the seat, lower horn. but like you can do anything you want in whatever type of saddle, but certain saddles are just built the way they are to aid in it. Like
Absolutely.
you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Same with seat size. Like it's a preference. There's general rules to it, but if you like a little bit bigger of a seat, sure, go for it.
Right.
No one's gonna yell at you for it. Well, maybe there's some people, but
yeah, it's very much a preference. I agree too. That's what I often tell people. Like, you can, just because you barrel race, you could do it out of a trail saddle. I mean, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't necessarily have to
really,
be
I feel like you're right. It just boils down to whether you have to rope or not. But otherwise, you can. We have a lot of people. I know a lot of girls that barrel race out of ranch cutters
Oh,
because they
yeah.
like that flat open seat. You know, so I agree. But there's a lot of differences as far as you wouldn't even think of. Like you're saying, the flat seats and the rise. Like I don't think people realize how different the disciplines, like the saddles, are built
Yeah.
to aid. Like you said, you know. Yeah. No, that's a big difference. Absolutely.
And then like things like I think I kind of want to touch on this. Wade, it's a ranch saddle,
Right.
but it's its own deal.
Absolutely.
It's still a ranch saddle, but it's its own deal. It's got a special tree. It's still a very heavy duty saddle, but
It's its own entity.
it's its own thing. Like I mean, it's its own tree. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
it's very
everything's its own
specific.
tree, but it's still its own subcategory.
Yeah. No, you could get deep in the different categories. Absolutely. And the different disciplines
Oh
and
my
how
God.
they all work.
Oh my God.
Like we were talking about how payouts work, how divisions work, how
That's
you know, levels. I
kinda
mean,
talk about
it's
that
very
next
different.
time.
It's
Like
very
versus
different.
barrels,
yeah.
like showing, ranch cutting, cow herd. It's just
Even
it's
roping.
So, roping.
So
it's so
confusing.
different.
Yeah, it's so different. Yeah.
Everything's just
Everything's very unique and specific in its own way. Same with saddles. Same with saddles.
it can be so spread apart. But with the horse world, I feel like the horse world is so intertwined and connected.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
so small.
It is small.
And it's kind of weird how small it is.
It
I get
is.
freaked out sometimes. I'm like, ooh, never thought I'd see you again.
Yeah, no, it is. We have reunions here in the shop all the time. Like people are like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in like years, and we're like, wait, you guys know each other?
And they're like, yeah, I know this person. It's like, oh, I know that person too.
Yeah, and then
It's
they
like,
just have a whole gathering in here. Yeah,
I'm like, I haven't seen you. How you been?
it's been forever. Yeah,
Like, what you been up to?
it's like, man, we've known you for like 6 years and you for 7, and when you guys know each other too.
It's
know?
like, how come you never said you guys know each
Yeah, how
other?
come you didn't say you were friends? No, I got you. Yeah, like the divisions thing stresses me out. Like, or I guess the differences.
Yeah.
Because like in barrels, it's different Ds. That's our division. So there's 1D, 2D, 3D, sometimes 4D, sometimes 5D, and it's basically it's very confusing. Like if you're not used to it. But basically, they usually do like half-second splits. Sometimes they do full-second splits. It really depends on the place. But however your time lands, like whoever wins the race, obviously that's first in the 1D, and then they do half-second splits so that, and they only place a few in each D.
And isn't there like I don't really know a lot, but isn't you can place like if you're in it's a 3, you can place too fast for it.
Oh yeah, you
And
can fall in
it's-
the cracks. Yeah, because it's really just based on how that half-second or whatever split they're doing. That's what decides
Yeah.
how you place. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could run super fast and win a D, or you could run too fast and miss a slot, or you could run too slow and miss a slot. It's very much just kind of a shot in the dark.
challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and then how do you
with there's horse divisions and rider divisions. Like there's the open, the non-pro, the amateur, the youth, yada yada, level 1, novice, rookie. But then there's like your 4-year-old mares, your 2-year-old mares, your aged mares. That's kind of like halter classes, but or like open hackamore. Yeah, it's.
that blows my
And
mind.
There's a lot of
there's
categories.
an age goes into it with the
Yeah, like the
horses
age
because
groups.
like once I think it's 5 or 6, like you can't show in snaffles.
That's right, we were
anymore.
talking about that.
So then you're forced
to move
to
up,
move.
kind of.
I kind of hate it because like I'm still in youth, so and there's definitely some ones in there that like, okay, yeah, you're in youth, but you could move up.
You could
like
move
get up there. Like this isn't
Leave me
whatever.
alone.
They're like, get
Whatever.
out.
I think that's one thing I do kind of like. I mean, there's different classes with barrels too. You could do the open, you can do novice horse, you
Yeah.
can do youth, but like in the open, everybody's just kind of. It's like a free for all.
Yeah.
You know.
So you
It's
do
just-
you.
Yeah, it's you do you.
Yeah.
And it's just about
Yeah.
that time.
Like I'll do open with my mare, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm usually like the youngest one in the class.
Aw,
I'm not
that's
always. I'm just, and then there's people that are like 70 years old that I'm competing against. It's just the range. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. It's very open.
Especially with the horses too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and they've evolved so much too. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's wild. Well, that was a fun, spooky conversation.
That was.
Talking about Joyce. Maybe she'll be nice to us
And then
today.
making her little
since,
presents.
Yep, since we featured her,
got
you
her
know. So she
fame.
got her fame.
Oh.
But thank you guys for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the different saddle makers that we talked about, touched on some discipline stuff. And yeah, if you're down for a spooky sleepover here at the saddle shop, $5. I'm just kidding. You got to be on the list though. We got a list
we
at
have
the
to,
door. Yeah.
like a week in advance to sign up.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Sorry, you're not on the list.
It's like, well, you guys can watch out in the parking lot.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, We'll go live.
Yeah, we'll go live. Ooh, that's a good idea. Anyway,
We'll go
well, we hope
live.
you guys have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next time for episode 6. Thanks for watching. Bye.